Hey there, today I'm going to outline the chords used for all the things you are. And this is based off the idea of using shell voicings, a combination of sevenths and thirds, along with fifths in some places where you have tight spaces, and possibly even tenths where you have really open spaces. And it's all predicated off of the melody. If the melody goes low, then you may need to condense your voicing. If the melody goes high, then you want to spread the voicings out. So those are really the two concepts here. And the whole point of this exercise is to learn how to sketch through a tune, playing the melody and the chord, and then eventually adding rhythm, accompaniment, embellishing into a full-scale arrangement. But today we're going to focus on just the 4-note voicings for each chord. The first chord, which is an F minor 7, you have a couple of different options. The melody note is A flat, the bass note is F. So if I wanted to start down here, which would be a good choice, I would want to play a 7th. You never want to play a 3rd in the bass that low. And then if I have those two notes, then the remaining note would be a C, and that completes our F minor 7th chord. Now if you want to start here, F and A flat, then you have a couple of choices here. You can play C and A flat, or E flat and A flat. Okay? But for the really, you want to use more sevenths as possible to open up the voicing. So here's your first chord. The 7th chord, or the next chord, B flat minor 7, we're just going to take everything up. Okay, just move everything up parallel. Oops. Okay, now from this point, what we're going to do is we're going to use our a 3rd in the left hand. So now we have 1, 3, 7, 3. Okay, because if we jump down the 7th, that's a little bit, that's the very lowest point for a minor 7th interval. And if you notice, the spacing is an octave here. So that's why we choose to do a 3rd here. Okay, and now you're perfectly ready for the 7th in the left hand. So let me review those first 4 chords. Oops. And now you can place the melody that fits in between there really nicely. Second line, we're going to have the really similar pattern. We're going to go from a 7th to a 3rd in the left hand. There's our D flat major 7. It should be D flat major 7 there. And then we're just going to move the C down to a B to get our G7. Now, when we go to the C major 7, okay, if we do a 3rd in the left hand, it's okay, you can double the 3rd. And you can't do a 7th because it would be too low if we dropped, and it would get in the way of our right hand. So we're going to do a 5th. Okay, so here's the second line. Now from the C major 7, the next chord is C minor 7, so we're just going to move the 3 and the 7 down. And then when we go to the F minor 7, you're going to use the same one you used before. Okay? And instead of going to a 3 in the left hand, 1, 3, we're going to jump back up. So let's do a 5th here. Now we have all 4 notes present. So back to the C minor 7. and then the E flat major 7. So the left hand is going from 5th to 7, 5th to 7. Okay, you'll notice a pattern here. Then we're going to go back to the 5th. So 5th in the left hand, and then the 7th and the 3rd in the right hand. Okay, now we have a couple different options here for the D7. We can do a 3rd. That actually builds a root, or sorry, a 7th, a D7 in root position. Or if you want to open it up, now you have a 7th in the left hand, and then you have the 3 and the 7 in the right hand. So 2 options here. I kind of like that better, to be honest with you. Now we end up with a 5th in the left hand for spacing reasons, since the melody is so low. Okay, so there's our A section. Let me review that. Fifth, left hand 5th here, back to 7th, 5th, back to 7, 5th, and then 7th, and back to 5th. Okay, now we move on to the B section. You notice the melody is on a D, which is not an A minor 7th chord, but that creates a little bit of suspension, so we're just going to keep that. And if you notice, the A is way down here, so we're going to do a 7th. So now what we're missing is the 3. And the top note's going to resolve to the 5. So there's your voicing for the A minor 7. Okay, and then the D7, you'll notice that the C is on top. We have a couple different options here. We could do a 3rd in the left hand. But then that would leave us with either playing the A really far apart or playing like an F sharp doubling. So probably would be best to bring the 7th up. There we go. Notice how the evenness of the spacing of the notes. And then we're going to move down. There's our G major 7. We have a 7th. So again, A minor 7, D7, and G major 7. Okay. Now we have the F sharp minor 7. We're going to do a 7th here in the left hand. And you can tell because the melody is still up in the treble clef. And this really should be a flat 5, so make sure you're playing a C and not a... Well, you can play a C sharp there, but I like to play the C, a flat 5, and that F sharp minor 7. Okay, then we get to a B7. Oops. So 7, 7, and then you go to a 7th in the left hand. C augmented 7, you can jump up because we still have nice spacing there. So here's the first 8 bars of the B section. Oops. And then with the melody. All right, now moving forward, of course, we have the beginning of the A section again. Yeah, that's right. Sorry. Now, we're going to end on a third in the left hand. You have a third, and then you have the C and then the F. Very nice space voicing here. You can't do a seventh in the left hand up here, and you can't do it down here. That's way too far down. To get from here to D flat minor 7, let's first get the top note. Let's get the bottom note. Notice there's a big space in between the two. So let's do a seventh interval in the left hand, and then let's fill in the A flat. Okay? Or we could do the minor 3 right here. That's actually better space, better sound. Okay? So this is the most difficult part of the tune right here. And there's a big jump there, and that's why you're changing your hand position. Okay? Now we go to the C minor 7. We've done this earlier in the tune. Fifth. And then the 7 to 3. And then the B diminished 7th. And remember, this is the fully diminished 7th, so you're going to have a B and an A flat. You're going to have the G on top, and then fill it in with a D. Very nice chord right there. So let's review those 4 chords. And then, okay, now you have a tricky situation here. You have a B flat minor 7 where the melody is way down here. Okay, so you want to use your 5th. Okay, B flat minor 7, and now you're jumping all the way up to F up here. So you want to definitely use the 7th here, and then fill it in with maybe the B flat. That's your E flat 7. It reads as B flat minor over E flat, but disregard that. Technically, this is an E flat 9 chord. And then we end on A flat major 7, which is way up here. So we can do a number of things. We can do a 5th, or we can do a 7th. And I would end it just like this. It's the same shape that you played. Well, I don't think, no, yeah, hold on. Yeah, it's the same shape you played in measure 4. It should up an octave. Okay, so let's go through the entire B section. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. F minor 7. 2, 3, 4. And then E flat 7. 2, 3, 4. A flat major 7. And then D flat major 7 in a closed position. D flat minor 7 in a open position. C minor 7 closed. Oh, B diminished 7 closed. B flat minor closed. And then E flat 7 open. And then A flat major 7 open. All right. Now, once you have that done, then you can experiment with altering some of the notes, adding some ninths, some 13ths to get more of a, more of a complex sound, something like this. Adding the B flat, add some suspension. Same thing here, the suspended tone. Add the C, which is the 13. F, 13, the 13, flat 13, the E flat, So sharp 11, the F sharp, and then the minor 13. Oh, the flat 9, the perfect, great note to add in. Little chord substitution. When you have an arpeggio walking up, you can build chords underneath those. George Shearing made that popular. Then the E flat 7, you can add, instead of just doing this here, you can add the C, or you can even add the G. So what you have here is the building blocks, and once you have that, then you can start adding notes inside and around the voicing to get clusters or just develop more interesting harmonies.